Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery, and this is Masterclass Week 30. It is September 30th, 2015, and I've got Adam and Marco on with me today. What's up, Adam?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Marco?
Hey everybody, what's up?
All right, so do we have any specific announcements for the Masterclass right now?
Not right now, but just for fun, I will be dropping the RYS Academy contest link in there. If you guys want a chance, again, we just mentioned it on the Hump Day Hangouts, but if you want a chance to win free admission to RYS Academy and some other cool stuff, go check it out.
Yeah, and I think we're going to end that next Wednesday, correct?
Yep.
All right, cool. So yeah, guys, it's an opportunity to get some of our advanced training for nothing. So try it and see what you can do. Okay, guys, today I'm going to grab the screen and we'll get into just a couple notes. Today's going to be kind of a miscellaneous day. Excuse me. That's why it says Week 30 miscellaneous, because it's we're going to do a little bit of review on. Are you guys seeing my screen? Okay.
I think, hey Bradley, shouldn't we let them know that RYS prices are going up?
Yeah. When are they going up though? Is it next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're gonna raise it to $1,200 because we keep adding more stuff to it, but it's $1,000 for the time being. If you're a Mastermind member, you get 30% off, anyways. But it's been available for you guys, for Mastermind members, for over a month. Well, everybody here, it's been available. So. But yeah, at the end of the week-long public launch, it goes up. So just so you guys know, if you were on the fence, get it before it goes up. If you're a Mastermind member, get it before it goes up, because it is still going up. You'll still get 30%, but.
And for people who are worried about whether you can do local, whether you can do national, there's people doing payday loans, there's people doing local, there's people doing Twitter, there's people doing anything in video, there's people doing anything and everything under the sun, and it's ranking. And so, I mean, that's my take on it. Get in, make your money back.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have any problems making it back.
You sell the service to doing what we call Florian, one of our members, calls it an RYS stack or a Google stack. And so, whatever you want to call it, but you sell one of those for $1,000 to a local client, you've got the course paid for, and then it's just all gravy from that point. So, anyways, enough pitching, guys. That's not what this is for. But did want to mention that. All right. So, anyways, Masterclass Week 30 today, miscellaneous, guys. We're going to cover a little bit of the Week 10 or the affiliate case study for what's been done over the last week. I ran into some hiccups with it, and in part that's why this is going to be a little bit more of a miscellaneous day. Questions, guys. Any type of question you want to ask today, other than you can ask anything today about SEO, about the affiliate case study, about local, anything that you want. Those of you that are here, go ahead and post your questions, because we will have time to answer, and it doesn't have to be on topic today because we're going to be a little bit all over the map. I am going to cover just about 10 minutes maybe worth of stuff about the affiliate case study, and in part some of the problems that I ran into, so that you know, because I think it's, I run into problems too, guys, and sometimes I want to beat my head against a brick wall because I can't figure out what the hell the problem is. And so anyways, I want to cover some of that, but then we're going to talk about some SEO campaign stuff for the affiliate case study, because to this point we've done all YouTube ads for driving traffic, and my email list is growing at a nice clip. In the last 7 days, I could log in to get response and show you, but in the last 7 days I got another 11 subscribers. So I'm averaging about 1.5 to 2 subscribers per day, which is good. That's okay, but I want to start generating some more traffic as well. And so because this is Semantic Mastery is an SEO. We teach marketing, but the primary method that we teach is using SEO. So I do want to get into some SEO stuff for this affiliate case study, which we'll spend a couple weeks on that, and then we'll talk about next week as well. So, but again, guys, please feel free to ask questions today, whether they're on topic or not. We'll try to get to them. Just be aware that we are limited to about an hour. All right, so let's go take a look at the ad campaign from last week, and I want to show you guys. I got it open here. Let me just refresh, make sure that we're looking at everything. Okay, so last week, guys, we set up a broad campaign, if you remember. We set up 2 targeting groups, which the placement list, which is what I've always been doing, and I've had the most success with placement lists, and that was the PD opt-in. It was the so personal development opt-in. And you can see that I've had, I was getting about 100 views per day, because remember I set up two different if you guys remember from last week, we set up, not only did we set up the placement targeting, which we have done for everything thus far, but we also set up keyword targeting, and we also did a in-display ad instead of as well as an in-stream ad. Okay, just to refresh everybody, the in-stream ad is the ad that shows as a pre-roll ad, so it plays before a video on monetized videos, right? And that's what we've been doing almost exclusively. The in-display ads are the ads that show up at the top of the search results, the YouTube search results pages, and also in the right sidebar of a YouTube watch page in the related video sections on channels that are monetized or that have monetization enabled. Okay, I haven't done a whole lot of the in-display stuff. I find that the in-stream is much more effective, but I wanted to walk through the setup with you guys last week. So if you remember all of that, now I ran into some hiccups last week when we were creating these ads because again, I don't have a lot of experience with the in-display ads, so I got mixed up, and I was trying to use the same URL for the in-stream as the in-display when really I had to set up two separate ads. So I went ahead and did that. I set up two separate ads now, and I corrected that since last week. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that. They're two separate ads. The one thing that I wanted to mention, though, is we set up two different targeting groups. Let's go take a look at the targeting group. All right, the two targeting groups that we showed were the placement lists, okay, and you can see how it says personal development placements here. And then the other ad group, which I must have turned it off, which was the keyword ads. Let's go back to see if I turned that off. Oh, it's because I have it paused, probably. Unfortunately, it looks like that targeting group, because I paused it, is not going to show up in my... Let's see if I unpause it. And it should automatically re-enable it because it was already approved. Okay. All right, so, okay, now looking at this, guys, the in-stream ad was on the placement list. Okay, and then I had the opt-in, the in-display ad, which I was using some keywords with, and you can see the difference here. 497 views, right, with the view rate only being 0.66%, which is under 1% view rate, to how many times it was displayed. If we let me take a step back. Let's go back and look at this for a second. All right, if we look at the PD opt-in, personal development opt-in, guys, that's this one that we set up last week. You can see that the impressions, this included the in-display and the in-stream. And if you remember, we had the placement list, but we also did keyword lists. And I remember I talked to you guys last week about how I had done keyword lists in quotes, which means phrase match, but I was getting some pretty shitty results. So I paused the in quotes or the phrase match campaign, and then I added a new exact match campaign, which are the keyword phrases in square brackets. Okay, well, they're still shitty results. And what I mean by that is I don't understand how the keyword targeting works inside of AdWords, at least for YouTube ads. I just don't get it, because if you tell it exact match or phrase match, then why are my videos being shown or my ads being shown in front of completely unrelated stuff? I don't get it, and it drives me up a wall because I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out why. And if somebody else here or is a member of our masterclass is an AdWords expert, I would be grateful as hell if you would schedule some hangout time with me to teach me what the hell I'm doing wrong, because I honestly don't know how the keyword targeting works, because it just keeps returning these really shitty results, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. So I paused that. Here's my proof of showing. This is the last 7 days we're looking at, guys. This one particular campaign had 83,000 impressions, 539 views, with a view rate of 0.64%. That's shitty. That's poor. That's very poor. Look at my view rate for my other campaigns that are performing well. I'm in the mid-teens to the mid-20 rate range. My view rate, right? That's what I'm used to seeing for campaigns, is between 15 to 20, anywhere between 15 to 25% view rate, because I'm using placement lists where I'm getting much better targeting. And so I thought that's what I was doing with the keyword targeting, trying it with phrase match and then exact match, but I'm not, and that's why my view rate is tanked. It's shitty. But I spent fairly good amount of money on this for my ads to be shown in front of completely unrelated stuff, right? And so that's why I wanted to show you that. So let me click through. We'll go take a look at the targets. And we'll look at PD placements. Here we go. That's why. And we'll take a look at the YouTube search keywords. Now take a look at this, guys. This is what doesn't make any sense to me, is why would my video be shown in front of the keyword dessert or dessert Darwin? See you again, Taylor Swift, One Direction, Twerk It Like Miley. Come on, what the hell? I just completely don't understand why my videos are being shown in front of Fifth Harmony and Twerk It videos from Miley Cyrus and like Katy Perry. Like where in the world does any of those personal development terms that I had in my keyword list fall into any one of these categories? I just don't get it. So my point in telling you this, and my whole point in complaining, is that it's bullshit. And so I went back to just doing the placement lists. Okay, so the placement list, I paused all my keyword campaigns because I'm tired of pissing money away on these unrelated videos. All right. So with that said, my view rate is going to go way down on the placement list, but at least it's going to be topically relevant. You know, they're going to be only shown in front of the videos that I hand selected that are completely relevant to my topic. Okay, you guys get that? So, anyways, back to it. You can see that. Let me go ahead and pause this. This is the in display, which is what I had set up for with the keywords. Okay, so if we click through to this and we go over to targets, and well, yeah, it just shows you here, and that's what I'm saying. I want to eliminate that. You guys can see if I click on where my ads were shown and I look on placements here, you'll see that the actual placements for the videos were good because these were all relevant. These were related. But look at how many, because this is for the in display ad, but so these are the ad that shows up, you know, as a thumbnail image. It's not the pre-roll ad, this one in particular. But you can see that the YouTube search results, right? So youtube.com/results or the mobile search results. This is where it was shown all these times, and they, 400 times and 134 views. But the view rate is very, very small because somebody's searching for Taylor Swift. Why the hell are they going to click on a personal development, reach your true potential thumbnail? Most of them are going to be freaking teeny bopper teenage girls. You know what I'm saying? So, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I don't understand it, and I'm just frustrated with the keywords. So I'm moving beyond the keywords, guys. I'm going to stick with what I know is working, which is the placement lists. And when we look at the placement lists, we see that it's working really well. So if we close this down, and we'll go over here to the in-stream. I want to pause this before I forget and leave it on and piss a bunch of money away. All right, if we go over to the end stream and we look at the placement lists, we'll see that it's only showing, well, it's not because this is still showing, it's still part of the same campaign, so it's still showing these numbers. But you guys saw where the placement list is these, which are the ones that we had already built out that are highly targeted. Okay, does that make sense? Hopefully that's clear. So now that I've eliminated the keyword campaigns, it will only be for these now, and I'll stop throwing money away, hopefully. All right. So I just wanted to cover that very briefly. I haven't set up any other campaigns for YouTube traffic campaigns or ad campaigns yet, other than the one that we did last week. And again, after running for 7 days, I realized that the keywords it's not worth my time anymore trying to build out the keyword list unless somebody else can teach me as to what the hell I'm doing wrong.
Yeah, Bradley, real quick, Jeff is saying that he's got a lot of experience in AdWords, including YouTube ads. He says he's going to check it out, the keyword issue. So, yeah, by all means, Jeff, please do, and then let us know.
Hello?
Yep. Are you still there?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Did I cut out, or?
Yeah, Jeff who?
Jeff Stiegman.
That's great,
Sorry
Jeff.
if I'm saying that wrong. Yeah.
Jeff, if you can look into it for me, if you want to message me privately, if I could get 15 minutes of your time, I'll hook you up with something. I'll give you 15 minutes of my time, personal. If you can give me 15 of yours to show me what the hell I'm doing wrong, because it's frustrating as hell. So, thanks for that too. I appreciate that. Okay, so keyword campaigns paused. I wanted to just cover that very briefly, guys. Again, my list is still growing. It's nice. That's great. But I want to do some other stuff too. We're going to talk about some SEO campaign stuff here in a minute. Just some ideas that I'm thinking about doing. I don't have an actual plan set out yet. I will have one by next week, and I'll go over my SEO plan with you guys next week. But really, it's just something I started thinking about today. The miscellaneous notes that I wanted to go over specifically. All right, so today I did 2 more blog posts today. Okay, 2 more. They're not actually product reviews per se. I guess they kind of are, but they're free. There's like nothing to buy really. So I didn't make them as product reviews where I give it like an overall rating. I just made them as blog posts, and I did both of these today. And I actually set up the email to add to the autoresponder series for the Tony Robbins video. And I did not get the email done for the Think and Grow Rich review. That's going to go out. I'll probably add that in the next 2 days. Probably by Friday I'll add that. So inside of Get Response now, let me log in there real quick. I think I might even. No, I'm not. I just want to share this with you guys. So if we look at the last 7 days, you'll see that the growth training funnel, I've got 11 people sign up in the last 11 days. That's not huge. Like I said, I need to continue setting up more trickles of traffic, which is in part, we've done the AdWords stuff quite a bit. I'm going to continue adding more stuff into AdWords for this. But I think for your purposes, other than maybe if I get this whole keyword thing worked out, we're going to be pretty much done inside of YouTube ads. I think we've done enough of that in this class for you guys. So I do want to move into some SEO stuff and set up some trickles of traffic from SEO. All right, and then possibly set up some traffic campaigns from other paid traffic campaigns from other sources, possibly like Facebook. Again, I've never set up a Facebook ad in my life, but maybe if I can get Hernan to jump in on this, he can help out with that, and we can set up a couple Facebook campaigns for those of you that want to learn about that. It's not. I have a Hernan. Not everybody else has a Hernan. You know what I mean? So. But that said, if we go in and take a look at manage autoresponders. Okay, so you'll see this is my sequence so far. I've got the 4 steps free guide, which is just a download that somebody gets as soon as they've confirmed their opt-in. Eat the Frog goes out the first day. That's the first product review I did. The next one goes out 2 days later, which is the 10x rule. It's just basically, me explaining what the 10x rule is in email format, but I'm encouraging people to come click on the link that takes them over to the site where there's a video review of the product. And that's what all of the same format's going to be used for everything, okay? And I like that because it's an informative email, but it entices or it encourages people to click over to the website to actually see the review. The same thing with the Slide Edge. That was another 2 days. And then this is the Robbins, Kern, and Reese interview, which, by the way, guys, if you haven't seen it, just take 38 minutes and watch it. It is an outstanding video. I reposted it in the Mastermind just a couple days ago and had a lot of really good comments on how powerful the video is. But that's what this one is. So the next one will go out on 9 days, which is the Think and Grow Rich review, which is a free product as well, and I've got the download. So let's just go take a look. And by the way, just so you guys can see, I take a few minutes to actually draft these out. It takes me a good 30 minutes or so to draft out these emails. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it takes me a while to write any kind of copy. And so, it takes me anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes to type out an email because I revise it and then I do it again and then whatever. But they're not just shitty little emails. They have a little bit of substance to them, which hopefully you guys get that. I'm having some pretty good results with the autoresponder series that I've developed for everything. So it's just a matter of it takes so much damn time. So, anyways, we'll take a look very quickly at these two blog posts. This one, hey everybody, this is Bradley. Let me pause that or mute it, anyways. This is the video, and I just played. I used the screen using Minicam. Minicam is the app that I use to kind of like control my camera and everything, and it's really cool because you can do these picture-in-picture things, and you can actually have a running video in the background. So I thought it was cool. I just narrated and did a quick review of the video, and then here's the actual Tony Robbins video. Then I had it transcribed. I had all this done today, by the way. It was really I did these 2 reviews this morning, sent them into rev.com, and they were transcribed within a couple hours and sent back, so I was able to get the blog post completed.
Yeah,
So
Rev's awesome, unless they're backed up.
Yeah, Rev is really cool. They're fast and they're cheaper than SpeechPad, which I had always used SpeechPad. By the way, something else, just as a miscellaneous note, I had added the tweet widget over here from the Growth Training Twitter account. We are going to do some Twitter training, guys. I was hoping to do it sooner with you guys, but we've got the Twitter SEO Academy coming out, and so I don't want to spill all the beans. Like, I can't. I'm not allowed to. Marco would have my hide. If I spill all... Right. Yeah. So there's some things that I just can't reveal yet until the Twitter SEO Academy comes out. And then also I'm going to be getting into a lot more of this stuff actually this weekend, because I'm completing a local case study that I'm doing for RYS Academy, and I'm going to be covering a lot of that training this weekend. So I want to wait until I've gone through the process a couple more times before I share anything about it. So just know that some Twitter stuff is coming, what I'm allowed to share. As soon as, it's coming soon. Just keep that in mind. So anyways, that's that one. We'll go look at the last one. The Think and Grow Rich review. This one, I've got this is the download the PDF. If you guys want to see it, you're more than welcome to do it. Just go click download now. It's free. And all I did was I added my header to the document, and then I converted it to a PDF. And this is the full text for Think and Grow Rich, the original version. It's unedited. So anyways, that's all I did with that. And then I've got the link over to the revised edition, which somebody can buy on Amazon if they want. This is my Amazon associate link. So if I'll make if somebody buys it for 99 cents, I might make 20 cents. Not even. I'll make like 6 cents, I think. So Amazon pays very little, so I wouldn't make much money. But if somebody, I really did it for convenience for them. Lastly, there's the MP3s. Same thing. If somebody wants to download the audio, they can click over here and purchase it for a couple bucks or whatever, and now they got the audio. So you guys see that. It's just pretty much the same thing. I did not have this one set to autoplay. I probably should. But other than that, what happened was, after I'd created, and why I started talking about this was, after I'd created these posts and I created the one email, added it to the autoresponder, I decided to check out to see if any of my previous posts were ranking anywhere. Like, for example, Eat That Frog review or the 10x rule review. This is a new site. The domain authority still won. There's not really no trust flow to it or anything yet, because I haven't done any SEO to this site, right? In fact, I have an IFTTT network, but it's connected directly to the YouTube channel, not to the site. So I'm not really pushing any links back to the site. So I just wanted to see where I could possibly rank for a couple of these terms. And I couldn't find my site anywhere, and looking manually through the pages for it. So I ended up going, doing the site search operator and looked at growth training, and lo and behold, I wasn't indexed at all today. And I was like, what the hell? So the first thing that you do when you check if you're not indexed is you go over to your settings and go to reading, and you make sure that this little box right here that says search engine visibility is not checked. And I did that, and it wasn't checked. And so the next thing is you look for the robots.txt file to see what the problem is with the robots.txt file. And in fact, I had actually added the site. Let me see if I refresh if it shows up. It should. Okay. And see how this is giving me some warning. It says check property health, and it's going to tell me that robots.txt is blocking important pages. Well, the reason why is because apparently, and I don't know how this happened, but apparently there was a robots.txt file uploaded to the server that had basically set disallow, which meant it was telling search engines to not index the site, the entire site. And I don't know how that happened, because I never created that robots.txt file. I don't know where it came from, but for whatever reason it was there. And so the way that you find that, by the way, is you just go to your main site. You can also look for it in the public HTML folder of your server, but you can just go to yourdomain.com/robots.txt. And now you'll see this has now been updated, because I'm saying that I just don't want anybody crawling the WP admin folder. But before it was disallow // which basically said anything beyond the root domain not to allow it. It was saying like don't index any of it. Okay, and so I don't know how that happened. So just imagine this was gone. It was just this text right here was what was showing, and that was it. And so what pissed me off is all this time now that it hadn't been indexed, and I wasn't even aware of it. So there's a couple places that you can go to if you're using the Yoast SEO plugin, which most of us are, right? If you go to the SEO, we talked about this in Mastermind last week. Somebody asked me to cover Yoast SEO plugin, but for those of you that aren't in the Mastermind, if you go to the SEO and you come down here to Tools, you'll see File Editor. You click on that, and it should show your robots.txt file here. If you don't have one, there will be a button that says Create robots.txt file, and you press that button, and your screen will turn white, and it'll have a whole bunch of like XML data or whatever, and then you just erase part of the URL and then hit enter. You just bring it back to the root domain WP admin, and it'll come back into the WP admin, and then you click back on tools, and it will show just like this is showing. So it'll give you your robots.txt file here, and you can make changes in it here. Well, I made those changes. I don't know why I had it the way that it was. Again, I don't know where it came from, but I went ahead and added the regular robots.txt file, and this is just like the standard, which you normally see. You could add a bunch of other stuff in here, and typically I do, but I ran out of time today. But I added the sitemap URL, and then I added WP admin here so that it would allow it to index. And I click save, and it's saved, but for whatever reason, and I'm going to tell you what happened in a minute, but if I went to go view it, I kept seeing just the original and not the new one. So I even so much as logged into the server and deleted the actual text file from the public HTML folder and created a new one in Notepad, and then because it's just a text file, and then uploaded it to the server, and then it came back over here and refreshed, and boom, it was still not fixed. And so then I added the site to Google Webmaster Tools because apparently it hadn't actually been added to Webmaster Tools. And from here, let's go into Manage Property. I'll show you what we talked about here, but excuse me, from here you can go to Crawl, and you can go to Fetches Google, and Fetches Google is where if you're looking at the root domain here, and you can see that. Fetches Google, you can click Fetch and Render, and when you click Fetch and Render, it's going to come back and give you, and that's what you're seeing right here. Well, you're seeing it here too, and it's showing blocked. This was earlier today. Look at this time, the date and the time. So it was saying it was blocked, and it said the robots.txt tester. If I click on that, it was saying that it was looking at the robots.txt file I was showing you just a moment ago that did not have that WP admin section added to it. It didn't have the sitemap either. So it was telling me that the site was being blocked. My robots.txt file was saying do not index this site. Even though I had changed it in the server and I had verified that it was changed inside of here. Well, after spending about 35 minutes or so, I was getting so angry because I was trying to figure out where the hell the robots.txt file was being pulled from if it was updated but it wasn't showing. Come to find out, thank God Chris, I asked him, he's one of our partners, asked him for help, and he came on and he said, well, is it cached anywhere? Which I had already thought of that. Like if you're using a caching plugin, you have to dump the cache. And in fact, I was using WordFence, and there's a performance setup in WordFence. In case you guys didn't know this, you can set up caching in WordFence. I had it set to 2 to 3 times speed increase, but I had already cleared the cache and disabled that because I was trying to uncache any results. I was not using anything else. Well, I forgot that when I set this domain up, I set it up through Cloudflare, and Cloudflare will cache certain files and basically that's where it was cached. So even though I had updated it everywhere, it was not showing updated because Cloudflare was still serving the cached version of the robots.txt file. So needless to say, I ended up logging into Cloudflare, and I cleared the cache there, which you can do under the caching options. You can actually clear all the cache out from Cloudflare, dump it all, and so that it will rebuild again. And then, lo and behold, voila, I checked it out, and it and refreshed the page, and sure enough, it showed up the way that it should have. So basically, I'm just sharing with you guys some of the shit that happens, and I was furious because I'd spent almost probably close to an hour in total today working on something that was so small that yet took me forever to fix, that pissed me off, and it was caused my site to not be indexed at all. And so how long has this been going on? About 10 weeks now? right? And this site hadn't had a chance to even be indexed. It wasn't allowed, and I hadn't even thought to check it before, just because who knew where that other robots.txt file came from? All right, but anyways, after I got it fixed, after I saw that it was recognized, and apparently Google still caches some results because it's still giving me these error messages even though I've already fixed it. All right, so if we go to Fetches Google, we can see that I had it fetched again after I had fixed it. You can see about 35 minutes later. And then from there, if we click on this, you'll see if you do a fetch and render, it just shows you this is how the Google bot sees the page, and this is how a visitor would see the page. And what's interesting is you can see the difference, like for example, right here where it says tweets, Googlebot doesn't see that. For some reason, it doesn't, and you can see that code down here. It's this code right here. This is the script that Googlebot cannot see, which is the tweet box. But as visitors see, there's a tweet box over here. Okay, so oftentimes I'll do a fetch and render on sites, guys, because sometimes there will be scripts within your theme that the Google can't access because of the robots.txt file or whatever, and so you can actually go in and edit your robots.txt file to include the URL from the scripts that the Googlebot's not able to read, that gives them access to go read those scripts. And I encourage you to always let Google access everything on the pages. Okay, it helps with indexing and everything else. It helps with the SEO of the site. All right. So, anyways, the other part of this is the fetches Google. This is how you guys can get index stuff very quickly, or get stuff indexed very quickly, I should say, because you can add the post URLs here, page URLs, anything you want. And what's interesting is when let's just grab one. I know it's already indexed, but let's just grab one. I'm going to grab the slug. Excuse me. All right, so if we come back over here and we add this, you'll see what happens. If I click that and then I'm going to say fetch and render, it'll take a second to read. And then there will be a button that shows up that says submit to index. And there's a couple strategic places that you can add, which will tell Google to crawl that page and all of the direct links. If you guys have your sites siloed out properly, like what we taught in the local SEO case study, how to do the internal linking and everything, your hierarchy of URLs and linking between pages and all of that, then all you need to do is take like your silo heading page and ask Google to crawl that. And then from there, let me show you. When you click on the Submit to Index button, you'll see that it comes up. It says crawl this URL only, or crawl this URL and its direct links. That's why I'm saying if you have your internal linking structured proper, which you should, especially on a siloed site, then you want to do that and click crawl this URL and its direct links. And what it'll do is it will crawl that, like let's say it's a silo landing page, a silo heading, right? And you've got in the case of Gainesville Home Pros, for example, there was 5. There was remodeling, there was home remodeling, bathroom remodeling, basement remodeling, kitchen remodeling, right? And then there was countertops too, which is kind of like not necessarily part of the silo. It was part of the silo, but it might not have really fit there. Anyways, if we would have crawled that home remodeling page, that was the top of the silo, then because there was internal links to each one of those supporting pages that were deeper into the silo, all I would need to do is submit that one page, and Google would crawl that page plus all of its direct links, which means it would go find all those other pages. If that makes sense. So you don't got to do this for all of the URLs. You just got to do it with some strategic ones. And that's if you're having trouble, if you want to get something indexed very, very quickly. Okay? And I like to do that because, again, had I not been attached to Search Console, guys, I might not have ever seen the robots.txt file was giving me, was wrong. So that's why I like using it, because it will show you that sort of thing. Okay? So anyways, that said, last part of this, and then we're done with this. We're going to move on to some other questions, or get into some questions. Excuse me, is sitemaps. Sitemaps, this is if we go to Yoast SEO, there's the XML sitemaps. We'll go take a look at that. I also have the video SEO plugin, which is an add-on for Yoast, and that gives me this, which gives me the video sitemaps, which is really good, especially when you're doing a lot of video stuff. So I've got that, and these are the different sitemaps that categories. Some of those can be excluded, but I just left them on for now, and I went and submitted those. Although Google is still showing errors, the errors that they're showing are leftover or residual errors from that robots.txt issue. Even though it's been corrected, for some reason it's still giving me, I imagine it's got to be something to do with Google Cache that will end up clearing eventually. In fact, this is showing right now that it's clear, but they may come back. But this just helps to get everything indexed as well, guys. All right. Last part of this is I didn't have time today, but I'm going to actually set up the Bing Webmaster Tools for this. I talk about that in some of the other training. It's important, guys, to not just rely 100% on Google. Okay. In this case, mainly what I've been relying on is YouTube. But you can get traffic from Bing too. There's, about a third of the traffic comes through Bing and Yahoo, which are basically one and the same now. So there's no reason in not doing a few extra minutes of time to add your site to Bing Webmaster Tools so that it gets crawled and indexed over there as well. Okay, so we'll maybe cover that next week because we're going to, like I said, get into some more SEO stuff next week. But I want to make sure that we cover that because I don't think I've covered that before as setting up Bing Webmaster Tools. All right. Okay, that was pretty much it. I just wanted to share with you guys some things that can happen that you got to be aware of. And I mean, something so small as that stupid robots.txt file had me hung up for an hour today, and had all this time this site hadn't even been indexed. It is now all indexed. It just took a few minutes, especially once you do the fetch and render thing like what I just showed you. It will index very quickly. So now they're all indexed, but I can't really see any results yet until I give it a couple days to kind of really settle in, and then I can start figuring out, okay, what can I do to start doing some SEO to these pages or these posts to hope, and to the site in general, because the site itself hasn't had any SEO work done yet. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about next as an SEO campaign. Between now and next week, I'm going to develop a campaign that we'll probably spend about 2 weeks on. And I will, next week I'll have kind of a bullet list of an action plan, what I plan on doing. I'm going to have to think about it too because I'm not sure this is an affiliate. This isn't local, and local's my bread and butter. Local's what I know best. So I'm going to have to think about how I'm going to SEO this site as well as the videos. I think I'm probably still going to use YouTube as my primary source. Just SEO the shit out of some videos and push them out across the network, targeting some various keywords using YouTube silo method as well. But I also want to start SEOing the site itself because over time the site will build authority. Because like I said, I'm going to keep adding to this, guys, long after this affiliate case study is over, which is going to be over in the next few weeks because we're going to go move into launch jacking. I'm still going to continue to add to this because, again, I truly enjoy this particular site and have a little bit of a passion for it. So it's going to be something that I add to when is kind of like just a hobby or a project, something like that. So I think YouTube's still going to be my main source of traffic, even for SEO. But I do want to start SEOing and developing a plan, which I'll share with you guys for long-term SEO strategy for this site, because over time I want this to become kind of an authority-type site. All right? So we'll talk about that next week. Anything else? Okay, so for next week, SEO videos for traffic, I'm going to develop a plan for that, set up a silo structure with playlists, which I can mirror on the main site if needed. We're going to add more emails to the follow-up sequence. In other words, just the one that I haven't done yet, which was for the Think and Grow Rich. And then I'm going to complete the About page. That's something I haven't. I just found this out today, too. Look at this. The About page is blank. So I'm going to actually put some information about me on there and stuff like that, and why I have why I like personal development stuff and how it's helped me, blah blah blah. And then the Twitter profile, we might maybe talk next week about at least optimizing a Twitter profile and how that's going to fit into the SEO strategy, although we probably won't be covering Twitter SEO stuff until I get the green light from Marco. So other than that, let's get into some questions.
Cool. All right. Well, the first one deals with the site. Keith was asking, did we have an actual cost per subscriber calculated so far to date, i.e. the total number of subscribers divided by total ad spend? If not, is that something we could maybe cover in the future?
Yeah, and I know Keith asked me about that before, and I honestly had it on my short list, Keith, and I didn't get to it. So I'll make another note of it. I will get that to you, Keith. Let me actually write that down. So no, I don't have it yet, but I will get that. Cost per subscriber.
Cool.
Okay.
Alrighty, so starting now at the bottom, Carrie was asking about how important are PBNs as part of the local ranking process, considering what can be done with IFTTT and RYS material.
Great question, Carrie. PBNs are, if you have them, use them. If you don't have them, you know, there's so much time and effort and money that goes into setting up PBN networks properly. If you're going to be linking directly to your money site, that it's almost not worth it. I think it has its place, and sometimes it's necessary. But again, there's so much that goes into setting up PBNs properly to be linking directly to your money site. However, PBNs that can be developed very quickly without near as much care or attention to detail can still be used and be successful in linking to your tier 1 properties, so boosting your tier 1 properties. So you can boost your IFTTT network sites with it. You can boost RYS academies, Google Drive files, for that matter. You can boost citations if you're doing local and you have a physical location. You got citations. Like I use PBNs. A lot of my I got a lot of close to 500 PBN sites that weren't themed all that well originally, guys, because remember, I started building PBNs several years ago when all you needed to do was buy a domain with good metrics, and you'd strip the content and you could use them for general, for anything. You just post different posts on them, and so a lot of them really weren't themed. They had no topical trust flow at all, because they were all over the map. So instead of trying to repurpose those or try to clean those up, I just use those as second tier PBNs now. In other words, I use them to build links to tier 1 properties, or just for video syndication as additional embed points, because each have their own IFTTT networks anyways, right? So if you have PBNs that aren't themed all that well, I recommend you use them on tier 2 only. They will help, there's no question, because it's about pushing juice at that point, but you can push juice with spam tools too. So, it's 6 in one, half dozen in the other. Do you want to spend your money on building out, buying domains, building out PBNs, hosting, content and all that, or do you want to spend your money on tools and GSA and running a server and captchas and proxies and all that? It's really 6 in one, half dozen in the other. Okay.
Cool.
I guess let me clarify one more thing before we move on. If you have PBNs that you can buy, look, if you're going to be buying PBNs to link directly to your money site, guys, by the way, I don't recommend going out and just buying a domain that has good trust flow metrics or good DAPA or good PR. I mean, who pays attention to PR anymore? And then stripping the content, and even if you theme that and in to where it's well themed to what you're going to be linking to, you got to consider this, guys. Google's looking two steps out now, 2 hops out from at backlink profiles, so 2 levels or layers of backlink profiles. So if you're buying a domain based on just pure metrics but not topical relevancy, then you're actually going to be doing harm to link if you're using that site. Even if you theme it well and put good content on it and it's siloed and it's on topic and you link to your money site, Google's going to be looking at the inbound link profile of that PBN. I'm talking about using it as a tier 1 link. Google's going to look at the inbound link profile of the PBN, and if it's completely unrelated, which most of the time it's going to be, then you're actually going to be doing some damage to the trust of your main website. So if you're going to be building PBNs to link as tier 1 links directly to your money site, you have to go out and find domains that were in the same topic or the same category and have relevant inbound link profiles to what it is that you're linking to. You can do that. There are domain crawlers that can allow you to do that. We're using one right now called Perfect Links. It's by Eric Lancheras. I spend $300 a month on that, and I got in as very early. It goes up to I think $600 a month for the same plan now that I have to use that domain crawler. But you can find topically relevant domains with inbound link profiles that match your specific niche and then build out on those. And that's powerful, but it's a lot of money and it's a lot of still manual work, even using a domain crawler. Okay.
All right. Dan's asking if we could look at a local website to see if the silo structure is okay. I think we kind of need to save that to the end because that's kind of it's not, I know we're kind of taking random stuff here, but we've got one question in particular we have to get to that we said we would, and we're getting kind of short here.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it.
So let's actually skip up to Caesar's question because we said we would answer that first.
Okay. Since I can't install the RSS plugin on Weebly, I wanted to know if I could use a self-hosted WordPress blog to curate content from the Weebly and then use the RSS attribution link going back to the Weebly URL instead of the WordPress blog. No, I wouldn't do that. Because remember, if you're syndicating content from the WordPress blog, it's an exact match copy of the content. It's basically just being republished onto other properties. So you want the attribution link pointing back to the original source, which would be your WordPress site. I mean, you can still build links from within, contextual links from within the blog posts on the WordPress site over to your Weebly site. Because then you're still pushing juice to your Weebly site. That's fine, but I would still leave the attribution link citing the original source, which is going to be the WordPress site. If you're curating content from your Weebly site, you're going to be linking to be giving attribution to the curated portion of the content to the Weebly site anyways. Okay, so just make sure that you follow the guidelines. Caesar, you should have access to the Curation Mastery course, and just make sure that you go through that so that you understand how to properly cite sources and stuff. For a lot of local search terms, the first page is dominated by directories such as Yelp, Thumbtack, Manta, Yellow Pages. That's absolutely true, and it seems to be going even more that way. If you're doing local SEO, is it good sign or bad sign? It's not, it depends. It is definitely getting harder to rank your own sites in organic search for that because you are competing with those big directory sites. So my answer to that is to make sure you have well-optimized listings on those directory sites, and then you spam the living hell out of those, because a lot of the times you can, if you do a search for, like, let's say Plumbers Atlanta or Plumber Atlanta, whatever, and you see that a Yelp directory page comes up, and what I mean by that is Plumbers in Atlanta directory page that lists a bunch of, it's a Yelp page that lists a bunch of Yelp listings, then what you can do is by optimizing your Yelp listing and then backlinking that and boosting that, you can actually have your specific Yelp listing outrank the category Yelp listing page, if that makes sense. And so that's why when you start to see that, and again, it seems to be going more that way, Caesar, you want to make sure that you optimized your listings. Remember, there was an article that somebody posted earlier today, actually, I think it was Peter, about how you should stop selling SEO services because, Google ranking services. You should be we optimize everything, guys. SEO is about optimizing multiple web properties, not just for Google, if that makes sense. So you want to optimize your listings in Yelp. You want to optimize your listings in Yellow Pages, not only so that you can rank those particular individual listings in Google, but also to get those to rank higher in Yelp, so that when somebody does land on a category page, your listing is near the top. And you can do that without paying for it by optimizing the listing, having it completed fully, have a well-written description and that sort of thing. A bunch of photos, complete the profiles as much as possible. Okay? So there's usually a real website sandwiched in between all the big boys, which somehow manages to get first-page rankings with a DA of 10 and trust flow of 10, which is a head-scratcher. Should one avoid competing for these keywords, or is the fact that there's hardly any local website showing up a sign of having a good chance to rank? It depends, Caesar. It varies. Honestly, I've seen some weird shit like that too. And some of the tree service markets that I'm in, like I have stuff that's well optimized, well siloed. It's got a few backlinks, good metrics, and there's websites that are ranking with 0 backlinks above me. And it drives me up a wall. That's why I try to optimize for maps as much as possible, because some of the organic shit that happens with local doesn't make any sense to me. And so, there are certainly, again, Caesar, I would just say test it and see. If you have the ability to get a maps location, you want to be optimizing for maps, because you're going to get higher conversion rates out of that anyways. But yeah, I mean, and again, just make sure that you're optimized on the directories, because remember, guys, you can set up a Yelp, like for example, if you search something and Yelp shows up on page 1 and there's 2 or 3 Yelp listings on page 1, that means you can get your Yelp listing on page 1. So go optimize the listing and then backlink the hell out of it. You can spam them too, by the way. Okay. Last is sticking to smaller suburbs with population between 75K to 150K for lead gen sites more advisable than going after the major metros. I want to go after bigger cities, but I also don't want to take 6 to 8 months to rank. Would RYS work in bigger cities with higher competition? I plan on picking up that real soon, especially now that I know it's going up. Yeah, I always start when we recommend starting with the smaller locations, less competition first, so that you can gain traction and start generating some revenue. If you want to go after the bigger cities, it is going to take 6 to 8 months to rank often. But what you can do, especially if you build out subdomains for the suburbs, like I talk about, like I've talked about many times, you can start to build the overall authority of the domain, so that when you go to target the broad, or the bigger city part of it, you will already have built some authority to that domain, which means it will make it easier to rank. But it's better to go after stuff that you can gain traction quicker to generate revenue first, and then start targeting the higher, more competitive stuff. But Caesar, get your get your footing, your foundation right first. Start gaining some success in the smaller areas to where you're comfortable and confident that you can rank in the smaller areas, and then you can tackle the harder stuff. Otherwise, you'll just be frustrated. If you start off with the more competitive stuff, the bigger cities, it's very frustrating, and if you don't gain traction quick enough, then it can be discouraging. You'll end up wanting to quit. So don't do that. All right, what's next, Adam? 21 point.
All right, so we either want to go offsite to silos with Dan, or we want to go to Earl.
Okay, Earl says, we'll go over to Dan's here in just a minute. We'll say do that for at least 5 minutes. We'll look at it. I've been using the YouTube feeds as posted in IFTTT, but when I put them in the feed validator, they show errors. I've been using them anyway in FeedBlitz. How can I check to see if they are working there? Check your FeedBlitz feed, or excuse me, your FeedBlitz feed, Earl. If your FeedBlitz feed shows YouTube videos, then it's fine. If it's not showing YouTube videos, then it's not pulling the videos in. So again, go back and what I talked about in Hump Day Hangouts, you can add your username or the channel ID into FeedBlitz in that one specific section, and then it should pull videos in regardless of the feed or not, without having to use the feed.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, sweet.
So
Another
we got a couple real quick we can answer here. Keith was asking, do you add PBNs to Webmaster Tools?
Yes, Keith, I do, but I don't do it all under the same account. I use my persona account that I have set up for the IFTTT ring that goes around the PBN anyways. I always use Webmaster Tools because it helps everything to get indexed, right? And so absolutely, but do not put all your PBNs in your main Webmaster Tools account. You spread them out. Spread your eggs across as many baskets as you can. So if you have an IFTTT ring around your PBN, you're going to have a Google account anyways for that particular persona, so just add it to that.
Yep, and Keith, that kind of answers the second question you asked up there. It's one, you can't answer that without knowing what market you're in, and then two, no, I mean you can use them in combination. It's just IFTTT networks work great with PBNs, and you can't say whether or not you need one or not.
Yeah.
Just a short answer. Let's see, can we knock this one out too real quick? Daniel was asking.
Yeah.
About that there.
He says, is your branded IFTTT network service, or in your branded IFTTT network service, apparently you create a Google Plus profile and page. Won't it be possible for this page to conflict or be confused with the real Google Plus page for the business? Yeah, it could, Daniel. That's why if you have a real Google business page already, then you're going to want to send those details to us when you place your order. And we're still going to create all the properties, but we will connect to your specific page that you already have set up. In other words, that will be what gets posted to from IFTTT, and so that the activity is on the. So, for example, a lot of times people will purchase networks from us, but they have a Google Plus local page already set up. Remember, on the local page, guys, you can't add all of your links like you can on the Google Plus business page. There is no links section on the Google Plus local page. Okay, so we still create the other page because it gives us another, what we call a semantic hub, where we can interlink all of our other profiles. However, we want the content that we're posting, whether it be from a YouTube channel or from our blog, to go to the Google Plus local page, because the activity that gets posted on the local page is going to help that to rank in the maps, which is what we want. So we just need to know that, and then we'll need the page login details, which we require anyways from you if you have an existing YouTube channel that you want us to use. And then we can log in, and you need to make a note of that on your order, but then we will actually add the local page into the IFTTT account or the Buffer account. We'll connect it to Buffer so that when you post it, auto-post to there, if that makes sense. Having the other pages isn't going to hurt, Daniel, because it only causes problems if you have duplicate local pages. If you have a local page and a business page, it's not going to hurt anything. Okay? All right, let's take a look at this, and then we're going to wrap it up. Let's see what we got here. Excuse me. Kitchener duct cleaning. What was the question in particular? Just to see if it was siloed
Check
properly?
out the silo structure.
All right, let me open it up in Firefox. I do all my SEO stuff here.
So Dan, this is just me being nitpicky, but my thing is just with weird abbreviations. If you can get rid of that. But I mean, if that's normal or if you had to, that's fine. I just, when I see those on links, like it's not a normal abbreviation, so it looks kind of weird to me.
Let's see, oh, up here. These, you mean?
Let me switch over. I'm looking at, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
that's just a user type thing. It's not the end of the world.
Okay, I can see right here. This URL is over optimized, Dan. If you've got Kitchener duct cleaning and then you have air duct cleaning services, you've got the keyword basically twice already in the URL. So I wouldn't do that at all. I would put maybe, I got to see what your other. See, look at this. You got air duct cleaning. I'm not picking on you, Dan, by the way. I'm reviewing and giving you my advice. These URLs are over optimized because if you look, we have, first of all, are you targeting a specific location? I'm just.
Kitchener is just the.
Kitchener is Kitchener
it's a
the
place
area?
in, yeah, it's a area in Ontario.
Okay.
So I assume Kitchener's the city. I'm not 100%.
Okay. Well, first of all, I don't see you've got Kitchener in the root URL then, but let's take a look. Air duct cleaning services. Your title tag, your SEO title is poor because it's just a general keyword. Okay, so and if we were to view page source, let's take a look at this page here. We're going to look at the title tag here, which is going to be right here, and you see how it's just showing air duct cleaning services, and then there's a pipe. What it should have is it should have the keyword that you're trying to rank for. In this case, I would say air duct cleaning, Kitchener, and then state code or whatever. I'm not familiar with Canada, but I would have at least air duct cleaning Kitchener. That would be my main title. That would be my SEO title. And then after the pipe symbol is typically going to be your site title, which could be Kitchener duct cleaning or Power Pro duct cleaning is what I would have if that's your site. If that's your brand as Power Pro duct cleaning. So I always have my. We're going to go over just a few minutes, guys, but I think this is important. So if anybody has to leave, feel free to do so. For the SEO title, I would do exact match keyword plus the pipe symbol or whatever, or I don't use the pipe symbol anymore because I feel like that's a little bit of a spam signal, but it's entirely up to you. I don't know that that's the truth, but I always just use a dash as a separator or another special character like a dot or something like that, and then I would put the brand name. So in your case, it would be duct cleaning Kitchener, and then Power Pro duct cleaning. Okay. That's what I would put, something like that, or just Power Pro or something like that, so that you're not repeating the keyword multiple times. All right, but that's the first thing I would do is make sure that your exact match keyword that you want to rank for is in the SEO title because that's the most important place for it, in my opinion. All right, that's number one. Number two is going to be URL. Okay, and URLs, whoops, URL is going to be, damn it. I try to de-optimize the URLs and make them as short and succinct as possible. Okay, to where, but make it logical. Okay, so for example, the fact that you've got air duct cleaning services here, and then if we open this one up, duct cleaning services, I don't know what the difference is between those two pages. So I don't know why you have two separate pages for that. I'm not sure why. I wouldn't do that. And here's duct cleaning company. That's it to me that you're basically going to end up not only you're going to suffer from some Panda issues because of the optimization issues, but also because this is essentially you're saying the same thing without me reading the content. It might be unique content, but all of this could have been consolidated on the one page. And it used to be that a couple years ago that a silo, and there you get conflicting advice on silo structure. But it used to be that you would have your main silo landing page, your top-level term, and then you would find either 4 or 5 supporting keywords, some longer tail phrases, and you would create a separate piece of content for each one of those supporting keywords. And you would put those nest them underneath that silo, so that essentially they would be supporting articles for that main keyword, and you would link all of them back up to the silo page. But what I found, ever since Panda 3 or 3.1, it was back in May of last year, that I found that Google actually prefers to have closely related keywords like that all on one page now, longer form content, but having all of those separate supporting article keywords, which would have been supporting article keywords, as like heading or head sections, right? So different sections on the same piece of content. Okay, that makes more sense, because why say the same thing 3 different times, which it looks like you've done here. And again, I'm not picking on you. I'm giving you advice. But why say the same thing 3 times that could have been said on one page? Okay. And so anyways, URLs, the URLs, I always try to keep those as short and succinct as possible. So in your case, I would consolidate these 3 pages, especially if you're targeting just Kitchener, or is that what it's called? Kitchener, yeah, Kitchener. If you're targeting Kitchener for all of your areas. If you've got different locations, well, that's different. You could use each one of these pages as a different location page, but pretty much right now I'm not seeing anything to different. This one says Kitchener, Ontario, as well as Waterloo, Cambridge, and all surrounding areas. So essentially you could have one page for Kitchener, one page for Ontario, and one page for Waterloo, another one for Cambridge. You could do that, but I would still put them in probably underneath one silo. But my point is with like for this page here, air duct cleaning services, I would just say services. So for my URL, I would just say services would be the slug. Okay, because otherwise you're getting that keyword, you're repeating the keywords in the URL, and that's a clear sign of over-optimization. As I mentioned before, guys, the Google looks at 4 things when they first come. Before it basically scans these 4 things when it comes to crawl your page. And depending on what it determines from that initial scan, by looking at these 4 things, it will slant what its view is of the rest of the page. So, in other words, if you get one of these 4, if you're over-optimized in these 4 areas, or any of these 4 areas, if you're over-optimized because of these 4 areas, then your site is going to be viewed in a negative light already. It's already going to have a red flag up. So what you want to do is make sure that you're right in these 4 areas first, because that's the first thing. And remember, like, first impressions are lasting impressions, and that's true for Google too. So the 4 things are SEO title, which is your meta title, URL, which I always, let me put this in quotes, short, succinct. Always do that. I de-optimize my URLs. The next one is going to be your H1 tag, which is your page title. Okay, so your page title, guys, I always try to put a conversational title. So, for example, right now, if we're looking at this one particular page, your SEO title, air duct cleaning services, right? Your URL, air duct cleaning services. Your H1 tag, which is this right here, air duct cleaning services. You've just now hit your exact match keyword other than your location, which I would put that up here in your SEO title. You've got your exact match keyword in 3 places, 3 out of the 4 places. That's going to put up a clear flag. It's going to send up a red flag saying, hey, I'm an SEO, or hey, I'm trying to optimize for search. You don't want to do that. Okay. The last one is your meta description. And your meta. So out of these 4 guys, the 4 things, I only put my exact match keyword in one place, and that's usually the SEO title, because that's what's going to show up in search, right? And that's what people, if they're searching for air duct cleaning Kitchener, you want that to show up so that it matches their search query. So I put that in the SEO title. For the URL, I make it short and succinct. I would just put services in your case. H1, I would put something like the leading air duct cleaning contract or providers in the Kitchener area, or even go a little bit broader in the, if you have a region like the, a county or whatever, maybe a little bit broader area. So there's still some relevancy, some local location relevancy in there. For example, like why air duct cleaning is so important in Canada. Like, that would even work. And the reason I say that is because now you have air duct cleaning, you have your keyword in there, and you also have a mention of Canada, which kind of reinforces your overall location, even though it's not specific to a city, if that makes sense. But I always try to make my H1 tag conversational. Like, a natural language pattern, something where you're announcing or opening up what the rest of the content on the page is going to be about. Don't exact match keyword that if you have it in your title tag. All right, and then lastly, your meta description. And your meta description, guys, you want to use that as like a call to action. You want to make it compelling. Your meta description is like ad copy. So you can work a keyword in there. I would use a variation of the keyword and do not use an exact match plus location because nobody talks like that. Okay, what you want to do is work in possibly like we provide optimal air, clean air for your home through proper duct cleaning. And we've been servicing the Canada, the Canadian, the region in Canada for 20 years or whatever the hell it is, and then I usually put a phone number. I want it to be compelling, as kind of lead people into wanting to click through on your listing above over everyone else's, but you don't have to have an exact match keyword in there. Only select one of these 4 locations to put your exact match keyword. The rest use variations or conversational type copy, if that makes sense. Okay, so as far as that, before I would even go any further, I would just honestly, I would go like again, if we were to just take a look at this really quickly, I know we're a little bit over, but I think this is important. Let me just show one more thing. This is something else that you need to be aware of. This is the SEO Centro. If you want to drop the link, possibly Adam 1412, sure. SEOcentro.com. It's free. You go to the keyword density tool. It's over here in the sidebar. Put your URL in for your pages, and here's something else that I wanted to point out, guys. Your thresholds, this is going to look at singular keywords, 2-word keyword phrases, and 3-word phrases. Okay, and you want to try to keep within the thresholds that I'm about to share with you. For singular terms, you want to stay at 2% or under. In this case, air and duct and cleaning are way over. Okay, you want to stay at 2% or under. It's not always possible, but you want to try to get as close to those numbers as possible. For example, the brand name of a business will often show up more, but that's okay. That makes sense. You don't want keywords being over-optimized. Okay, this one, the 2-word terms, you want to stay at 1% or below. In this case, duct cleaning is at 2.5%, so that's 2.5 times what it should be. Right? So that's 2.5 times. So duct cleaning is definitely spammed on this page. So I would get duct cleaning way, way down. You've got duct cleaning appearing 17 times on this page. And that's just a small amount of copy. And guys, keep in mind that this looks at all of the content on the page, not just the article body. This is the article body. But this is also looking at duct cleaning here, duct cleaning here, duct cleaning here, anywhere that duct cleaning is mentioned here, anywhere that duct cleaning is mentioned hit down here. So you've got to take all of that into consideration when you're looking at your keyword densities. Okay, you want to de-optimize these footer widgets or these featured content areas or whatever they are. You want to de-optimize some of those, de-optimize your footer. Okay, because otherwise you've got it 17 times on a page with maybe 600 words. Okay, so that's way over optimized for duct cleaning. And lastly, we'll scroll down and we'll look at 3-word terms. And for 3-word terms, you want to try to keep it at 0.2% or lower. 0.2% or lower. And again, that's difficult to do sometimes, but you want to try to stay within these thresholds. In this case, you're at 5 times the recommended level at 1.05%. Okay, and it's air duct cleaning. Duct cleaning services 5 times the recommended level or recommended limit. Okay, so how do you, not only can you remove that keyword that's definitely stuffed on this page to reduce that limit, but you can also add more content to dilute that density. Okay, so that's something else that you can do is add more content to dilute that density, but I would certainly, without a doubt, reduce some of that because right now you're going to have a hard time ranking this because of Panda issues, both for duplicate content issues because all 3 of these pages are basically saying the same thing, and also because of the density, and also because the over-optimized URLs, the lack of title tags, that sort of thing. So again, I'm not picking on you. Hopefully that helps. I would start with that for next week, Dan. Yeah, Dan, I'm sorry if somebody else taught you that, but it's wrong. Honestly, I'd debate that. Whoever taught you that, I would love to debate them in public because that's bullshit. That you're setting yourself up for failure. Even if you were able to rank a site like that, now it's a ticking time bomb. It's just waiting to be slapped by Google. Okay, and we at Semantic Mastery like to teach long-term strategies. Of course, we do some shit that's spammy and black hat, but we try to protect our money sites. And one of the first ways that you protect on-page should always be taken care of before you do any off-page. And there's a lot to be done on your site for on-page, Dan. So right now, I would suggest that you go through, clean up some of those on-page things that we just discussed. Then we could talk about that again. We could review this again if you'd like, maybe next week. Also, I know you just joined the mastermind, guys. We could probably set up, if you guys have enough of interest in it, we could probably set up where we do like a 30-minute site review every week. Public site review for the mastermind members only. I mean public to the mastermind members only, where we could do this kind of stuff and give pointers so that you guys can, we can review them for you. I wouldn't mind doing that. So if you take care of that stuff first, Dan, bring it up in the mastermind and we'll go through it again and look at some other stuff that can be done. If that makes sense. Okay. Now, we're 15 minutes over, guys, so I think that's it. Adam, was there anything else that needed to be done?
No, just some follow-up comments on that, guys. If you really have something you want, one of your comments you made after that, just bring it up in the Facebook group or, somewhere, one of the groups is needed.
All right, so yeah, man, I wasn't picking on you, Dan. That's what we're here for. But I think maybe we could do something like that. I wouldn't mind spending a few minutes, going over your thing inside of the mastermind too. We could probably do that and help some of you guys out. So, all right, guys. Thanks for being here, Adam. Thanks for helping Marco, even though I don't think Marco said a word. Except don't share Twitter SEO stuff.
Good deal. Have a good one, you guys.
All right, guys. See you.
All right.